Hello, I'm Danny DeLillo and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with MovieMaker magazine. We're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood and I'm here with Josh Tate with his movie, Guest Room. Let's take a look at a clip.
The test could be wrong.
It's not their business.
They want to help us.
I don't want their help. I'm an adult. Did you know I could go to college if I wanted to?
Of course you can go to college. You're smart. You're funny. You're pretty. And I'll help you through what you're going through. I'll be there for you.
Josh, it's really great to have you here in the studio.
Awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's amazing. Please tell us a brief synopsis of Guest Room.
Sure. So Guest Room is about a young woman with Down syndrome who grapples with these questions of intimacy, her own identity as a grown adult who has Down syndrome, and then also just these questions of adulthood itself. What does it mean to be an adult? And what does it mean for me in particular to be an adult? And that all happens on the day that she finds out that she has an unplanned pregnancy with her boyfriend.
Well, I'm personally very excited that your film got selected because I think it's a very important film.
Yeah, thanks.
Not only does it cover, something that some families go through, which is teenage pregnancy, but dealing with something else on top of that, which is, another entity which, people want to get their head around as well. And teaching us something as well about maybe things that we didn't know, What would you say you were kind of hoping for, audience reaction from your film?
Well, one big thing was I wanted to kind of, break this mold that a lot of my friends, who have disabilities find themselves in, or at least say that, they feel that they are in, which is they're seen as children, even if they're adults. And, a lot of people who I know will refer to people who they work with, who may be adults with different disabilities, as adult children. And that can sometimes get hard when, things that are really important to talk about when you're an adult, like sexuality, like your future, your career, having a family of your own, these kinds of things can kind of be shifted to the sidelines and become really taboo. And when we sweep that under the rug, a lot of times that can have kind of toxic outcomes. And so I'd like for people to start a conversation about these areas that are very gray, admittedly. They're very tough to think about and talk about, but I think they should be talked about nonetheless. So that's what I'd like for people to
Well, you heard it here. Please watch this film because I felt that, I just felt everybody in the audience last night just really was like, wow, it just really, people really felt there was a great teaching there, and I think it's extremely, valuable and so great that we could see that within the power of the moving image. Awesome. How did you find your wonderful cast?
Well, so Lauren Potter, she is a regular on Glee, and I've always admired her work. And it was really a dream of mine to work with her for a while. I actually made a feature before going into this short that had a cast with developmental and intellectual disabilities, and I shot that all in Texas with actors who hadn't had careers, prior to that point. And we were always interested in working with Lauren. We just didn't think we could get to her. And so finally, we took a chance and reached out to her people, and they took a look at the script and thought that it was a really just interesting story, and it was something that Lauren herself was going through, and she's in her 20s. And so that was it just kind of led to that. And then our the guy who plays her boyfriend, his name is Michael Iovine, and he was in the feature that I did before this, Loveland.
Oh, fantastic.
And so we knew him from that.
And not only did Lauren act in it, she produced it as well.
That's right. So she is one of the executive producers, of the film, and and she really had a great collaborative role in kind of developing you know, what you know, see on the page onto the screen. You know, the script, you know, I wrote it, but it was also a blueprint. You know, when we actually got onto the actual onto the set, you know, she would have her ideas for, you know, how she thought it would really go down, and how she, you know, would, you know, kind of the best ways to make it organic. And you know, it was a great experience, kind of going back and forth with that. And
I love what she said. At the screening last night, Lauren was present, and I asked her, because most people, when you tell them, oh, what's it like taking on multiple roles as an actor and producer, and she's like, it was easy, you know. There's any problem with it. It was fine, you know.
She's from the TV world. You know,
she's from the TV world.
To that. Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I think she was the first person that's taken on multiple roles that wasn't like, oh my goodness, it was so hard. Like, you know, it was just really interesting, refreshing, and certainly delighted our audience. You know, you made this film look very easy, but
thank you.
What were some of your biggest challenges making this film?
I'd say one of the biggest challenges was trying to nail the tone that I wanted to go for, which was, you know, I wanted it to be very gray and layered, and not a, you know, kind of, you know, black and white, you know, X versus Y. I didn't want to paint the mother, for instance, is a protective mother.
Yeah.
And I wanted the audience to really kind of be with her in a lot of ways, understand kind of this struggle that she's going through as well, instead of painting her as this one-note villain who's just going against what the main character, played by Lauren Potter, wants.
Right.
And so, you know, just trying to keep that layered was often a challenge for me. But you know, our actress Elizabeth Dement, who plays the mother, did a really great job of you know, really kind of finding you know, this kind of that relatable core, you know, to her character.
It had me on the edge of my seat in that confrontation, you know, scene where it was that very, you know, family sit down kind of like, let's talk about this, but you really just felt for each and every individual. It's not very often you kind of really feel for everyone, and I mean, it's great writing that you did there. How is it as a director trying to, you know, capture that sort of like feeling, suspense? Because I really felt like it was like in my stomach, I was like, oh God, I hope, you know, you just want it to plan out the way and not hurt anybody's feelings.
Sure.
How did you go about directing each individual character for that?
Gosh, I mean, I guess it was, you know, just kind of focusing on these individual moments, these little kind of sub beats in between kind of the, you know, the meat and potatoes of the bigger thing. And so, you know, just really making sure that we had those singles and those, you know, of those little moments that we needed to have in between, and then from there it was kind of magic in the editing room. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just making sure that it was layered. I mean, you know, I think a lot of that just came from a lot of work before we even started, you know, stepping on set. You know, just kind of working on those characters and their backstories and stuff all together.
Now, you're very accomplished because you already have a feature under your belt, which is amazing, and you're very young, and you're from Texas, and you've been here 7 years.
Yeah.
How does it feel, like, you know, coming from Texas and then coming here into being in LA and writing and directing? Has it been a good experience for you?
It's been an amazing experience. So I went to film school originally in undergrad at UT Austin, and then
good school.
I had a great experience, and then I moved out to LA to get my MFA at USC, and that's where I met a lot of the collaborators that I've worked with on this particular movie and on the feature as well. Yeah, I mean, it's been, you know, a wonderful 7 years. I mean, you know, a lot of that was at school.
Yeah, no, right, yeah, not that you've
working on your super thesis and you know, that kind of thing. But it was, but you know, I produced a lot of films there, and just was able to really gather a really great network of folks, you know, of collaborators to kind of help realize each other's visions, you know. And so, you know, pretty much the same team that I had on Loveland, the feature I did in Texas, was the team I brought with me to work on Guest Room. And we just, you know, we all kind of have a shorthand, not only with filmmaking, but also just with kind of the themes that we're trying to get across, the messages we're trying to tell with this whole disability advocacy focus that we have.
What is it like, after all the hard work you put into making this film, to be selected for New Filmmakers Los Angeles?
It's fantastic. I mean, it's a dream come true to be curated by, new filmmakers, and to be able to see that on the screen with such a great, enthusiastic audience, who is processing some pretty challenging subject matter and really getting it, really just like what you said. I mean, the audience was great and really seemed to react really well to the film, and that's just a wonderful feeling.
Well, they reacted well because Josh is a truly brilliant filmmaker, and I'm so excited to hear what more you're going to be doing. So what's next for you?
So next, we're right now working on a screenplay for a feature version of Guest Room.
Oh, it's a feature version.
A feature version.
You heard it here first, right? It's feature version. I'm excited.
So we're really excited about really trying to get that moving, and we'll see kind of where the year takes us with that.
Okay. Can we make a deal right now? Can you promise me you're going to make that feature film? Because I really want to see it, and I think it's going to be very important for us all to see. It's a great concept, and you've got a terrific cast, and we congratulate you for your film.
Thank you so much.
You're
I promise.
very welcome.
I
okay,
promise.
promise. Maybe promise. Okay. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.